You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Boy, ain't that the truth. I thought I could, my little rowboat was going to work to get me through sobriety and the holidays and all the other stuff. And everywhere I'm going to need a bigger boat. Hey, I want to welcome everyone to Thursday night, Getting Back to Zero. We're going to talk, have a great uplifting talk about grief and sadness, but we deal with that over the holidays, and a lot of us holidays, I think, remind us of lost loved ones. It's been a tough year for a lot of that kind of stuff, but we're gonna talk about that and how we can not just survive the holidays and dealing with that, but live the holidays, which and get through it with a smile. I do want to start off. The rule of thumb, because there are so many people that are a part of this, and the rule is kind of keep soberversaries out. But there were two people that I just heard today where it was coming, and I have to give a shout out because they have been such a major part of my recovery, as so many, most of you that are listening. But Jesse, who is now in Vegas, is hitting, I think tomorrow, no, it'll be today, 1,000 days, which is just insane. And I think right a day or two from now, Lulu, who everyone knows and loves, is hits a year. And those are big numbers. I know the fact that I didn't drink today after the day I had at work with the people I had to deal with, the fact that I didn't drink today is an incredible day or celebration. But for Lulu and Jesse, two unbelievable people that have really helped my program and helped me and supported me and made this easier and fun. I just wanted to say congratulations, but to all of us that survived and made it another day, we should be. So anyways, with that, I am bringing in, I heard you got to get Pam on the show. She's a certified grief counselor. I think she's also a sobriety recovery coach. And I am thrilled to welcome Pam McRae. How you doing, Pam?
I'm doing excellent. How are you, Jeff?
I'm you know what? It's Thursday. I'm ready for the weekend. It's been a crazy one. I had a day. I know he's not listening, but I rode with someone today, and I don't think it was possible for him to fit one more sentence into the day. He did not stop. And how I didn't just pull into the first pony keg after dropping him off is beyond. Something's working in my program. I'll just say that.
Well, I'm a big celebrator. So I have pom-poms for you and everyone that's managed to stay alcohol-free today. That is huge.
There's
celebrating it is so key.
There's some weeks or months that are, and hey, that's great, you did it. But the reality is there's certain days where you say, holy crap, how I didn't drink today. I don't care what day it is in my journey. The fact that I didn't drink today, grab the pom-poms, light the sparklers, whatever, because that's amazing. And that's a celebration.
That's every day is a celebration when you're alcohol-free. Good for you.
How long, what's your road? How long have you been sober, I guess? I hate that word, but how long have you been?
Yeah, I don't like that word either. So I just now consider myself a non-drinker. I just don't drink. I actually celebrated 4 years this past Saturday.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, I was pretty proud. I'm amazingly grateful.
It is. Grateful is, and I did a yoga class tonight before this, and which is a joke, but it works for me. It's not pretty. There's a lot of holes, drywall holes in that room where I practice, where my head's gone through, but I'm grateful because I'm the growth that sobriety is giving me. I'm doing things that I never would have done if I hadn't gotten, sobriety is a green light. I thought sobriety was going to be a red light, and it's not. I thought this is going to suck. It's over. I can't drink anymore. We're done.
It's going to be boring. No fun.
Yeah.
And
And
it's totally the opposite. It's like a door has opened full of opportunities of just limitless potential.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I'm so glad you're here. The holidays are tough. The holidays are sometimes they're a great time, but they're also a very tough time for some people. A lot of people, they realize they're going through a holiday maybe for the first time, or maybe just countless times without a loved one that was lost. All sorts of reasons that the holidays conjure up, because it's a time when family is a big part of it, and loss is there. But Pam, before you solve the world's problems and give us the answer, I grieve because I lost my mom. I also grieve because I lost alcohol, because it was my go-to best buddy, was always there when I needed it.
Always.
And even though it screwed me so big time, it was still, I am grieving the loss. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, alcohol and grief, I grieved it as well. It's because we thought we're giving up our best friend. I mean, alcohol was always there. It was the one that comforted us when we were sad. It's the one that helped us celebrate. It never talked back to us. So it's so true. There's actually, the stages of grief are very similar to what we go through when we finally decide that we have to stop drinking.
What are those?
So the first one is denial, which is very common. I don't have a problem. Like, don't look at me. I don't have a problem. You're the one that has the problem if you think I drink too much. And then we get into sort of the anger of, what are you talking about? Why are you doing this with me? I'm angry. I'm angry that there might be a problem. I'm angry that this alcohol that I thought was my best friend is maybe turning into like a toxic relationship. And then from there, you go into the bargaining stage. So it's, okay, well, maybe there is a problem. So maybe I won't drink Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'll drink Thursday and Friday. And you bargain with yourself. You bargain with everything around you. And that's a stage that many people find themselves in that's really tough. Then you sort of go into a depression of, oh, shoot, there actually might be a problem. And then finally, it's just acceptance that, you know what, something has got to change. And it might be removing alcohol. And it's tough. But
how do those stages relate to the loss of a loved one? I think we can go back. That's probably the go-to example, but those stages are more, they were set up by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. They're more stages for an individual that is suffering their own impending loss, but it has been taken into context for others that are suffering the loss of an upcoming passing. So it's not really a sudden passing, is the way I look at it. So you just, starting again from the top, denial, this can't be happening. Okay.
They can't be sick. They can't be gone. It's just this is not happening. I don't want this. Anger at the situation, anger at life, anger at your faith, anger at anyone that looks at you the wrong way, anger at the world for continuing on because your loved one is gone. And loved one can be parent, child, dog, anyone close, friend. With grief, it's not just over the loss of a loved one. It can be anything. Grieving during the pandemic. So many people have lost their way of life. We've lost our normal, what was pre-COVID, where we go out and have fun in groups of people. We've lost that as a world, as a society, as a community. And then you just go into sort of bargaining of, well, if I had only done this, or if I had reached out, or if I had not let them go out that night, or if I had taken better care of them. Are you following me on that?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Depression is depression. I mean, that's just utter sadness over the loss. That's just, again, with anything.
You're
Again,
not painting a great picture for someone that's grieving a loss that also has to give up alcohol. You know, you're giving, you're smacking both sides of the face.
oh, I tell you, it's tough. And something else that's really similar is when we realize as individuals that alcohol's got to go because it's bothering us, we have a problem with it. It's something that's not talked about. It's not something that you can announce to your friends at the bar on a Friday night and say, you know what, I think I'm drinking too much, so I'm going to stop. Everybody looks at you like you've got 3 heads. What are you, nuts? Same with grief. You suffer a loss. Everybody comes to you and says, you know what, I'm really sorry for your loss, but did you see that beautiful sky tonight? Wasn't it great? Nobody knows how to have that conversation.
And I think, Pam, I just to round this off of the negatives, I'm the perfect example of the open mouth insert foot. Not knowing what to say, and I will defend myself and say I missed that class. That was an elective in high school that I must have missed, because when faced with that, I don't know what you need to hear. So I'm going to say, oh, you'll get over it. Cheer up. You'll forget all about it. You know, that loss. It's for a good thing. It's we're going to laugh about this someday. This was actually good that this, I don't know what to say. And then I'm getting the double barreled finger from whoever it is. So it's tough. On both sides. I don't know how to handle it when it happens to me, and I don't know how to handle it when it happens to you.
I think the best suggestion I can make when you don't know how to handle it is to say, you know what, I don't know what to say. And just be really upfront with that, because nobody knows what the other person's pain is. So for example, we can have both lost our parents, you know, or a parent in the last year. But my relationship with my dad and your relationship with your parent are totally different. Sure, it's still under the umbrella of losing a parent. So what I would say is, you know what, I'm really sorry. And I don't know what to say. Tell me a story about them. Let's talk. What do you want to, you know, how are you? How can I help you? Let's bring it out to the forefront. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I like the how can I help you? I think because playing dumb is something I do actually pretty well.
Me
I really
too.
don't even have to try a lot of times on that, but no, it's a good. I think the best thing we can do is lend an ear, not our mouth. You know.
Yeah.
So how does the grief? It almost seems like 2 separate topics, dealing with grief, but now we're on a sobriety support show, and we're in recovery dealing with grief. How do they tie together? And
so the way I tied it together, I mean, they may not tie together, but for me, they really tied together. When I decided that I needed to stop drinking, and I stopped drinking over the last 4 years, but it was sort of 3 years really close. I lost a best friend, lost a boyfriend first, and then lost a best friend. And then back to back, lost another best friend and my dad.
was this while you were sober?
This is while I was sober. It just kind of hit me. So the first one was from alcohol and a heart attack from my boyfriend that just broke my heart. And I watched everyone gather and drink. And I thought, wow, you know, you've got someone that's just passed away because of alcohol, and you're drinking, and the pain just, you're not allowing your feelings out, because when we drink, we numb everything.
Mm-hmm.
We think it makes everything better, but all it does is numb it and extend it. So I just sort of sat back through my pain and thought, you know what, this is really interesting. And then I lost a best friend to suicide, and that really hurt. And I went through the what ifs and what could, and spent all kinds of tears and hurt.
Did you beat yourself up? Did you have the
For a while I did, yeah. And one of the biggest reasons I beat myself up was I used to visit him every year. And the year prior, I didn't, because I had just started my, I was like 25 days alcohol free, and I needed to protect my sobriety. So I didn't reach out to him. And it was like 9 months later, he died because he was so heavily into drugs and alcohol. And I thought, what if? What if I had shown up? What if I had reached out? What if I had called? But I couldn't put myself in that situation. Selfish, maybe. I beat myself up over it, yes, but I couldn't do it. I needed to protect me.
So, you know, my grief with losing my mom, and it was about 5 years ago, was I could have spent more time with her just on the phone, but so many of those opportunities I was drinking. So I missed out. I screwed her over of a relationship with her son, or good times with her son, because I put alcohol first. And that's hard to live with.
That's really hard to live with. However, it's something that, you know, and that goes into shame and guilt. And when we live with that shame and guilt, it just continually eats at us. So there's got to be a way in there. And I also do, because that's grieving as well, another form of grieving, the shame and the guilt and the beating ourselves up. We've got to be able to turn that around. And one saying I love the best is, I did the best I could with the tools I had. And that's how I had to deal with, you know, my friend that died of suicide. I did the best I could for him with the tools that I had. And I have to let that go. I have to, otherwise it will eat me alive.
You know, the one, and I'm just painting to challenge you, because, you know.
Please do.
But let's just go, I'll pick on me with my mom. A tribute to her is to a Friday night when no one's around, for me to get some pictures and get blasted drunk and cry my head out, because the alcohol will bring out all the emotion, and I will cry my eyes out while drinking. And I'm thinking that that's the way that I'm doing tribute. And that's those tears are getting it out of my system, but I'm doing it while drinking. So I thought that was a healing thing, where I'd light a candle and just look at old pictures of her and cry while drinking alone.
But then how did you feel the next morning?
Empty. I mean, there's all sorts of other things I felt, but empty. That was almost an insult to her. That's how I eulogized her, was getting hammered. Yeah, I don't know, just kind of shameful that was I have to drink to deal with those emotions, or bring the emotions of her up. I don't know.
And the more we learn about alcohol, the more we realize, sure, they're emotions, but they are just alcohol fueled emotions. So sure, you're letting the tears go, but there is no comparison to letting the tears go under the influence compared to letting the tears go totally alcohol free. When you're alcohol free and those tears start, they're powerful. And I'm not discrediting the tears that you had when you were drinking, you know, remembering your mom, but we have to let that emotion fully come out, and it doesn't come out when we're drinking.
I don't know how much of that relates, but just, you know, my sobriety is 1 year and 9 months. Yay. And you know, that journey is still learning about me and understanding me and dealing with feelings. and about the last 4 months, I've been thinking how much I wish I could talk. The emotion, the memories of her have kind of struck up a new chord. I don't think I missed her that first year of sobriety. I did, but it's just lately where boy, I really wish I could have lunch with her right now.
Yeah.
And talk and tell her, how I don't know. I'm the emotions of her. It's like it took me a year of sobriety, but I'm getting to the point now where I can let them go. Maybe
You're not necessarily letting them go. You're fully experiencing them. And then you're learning to adjust, because now you're a son without a mother. I'm a daughter without a father. So we never let go. We never lose them. They're always still right by our side. But we are just learning how to manage through life without them right in front of us.
I actually, and she's hanging right up there, but I have some of Mom's ashes in a little thing it's a necklace, I guess. And she's never left this little room, but a few weeks ago when my daughter got married, they kind of had a neat relationship. And when I was getting ready for the wedding, I said, you know what? You need to go with me. And I wore that night. Just because she needed to be there. But they're feelings that I didn't have before. It was just strange that it was new stuff to me.
Because now nothing is being numbed. Now they're starting to come out. These are your true, honest emotions because you're alcohol free. And they're beautiful emotions.
Great. So I'm going to now cry like a little in front of everyone all the time. And no, I know what you're saying. Well, yeah.
It's hard, and everyone is different. I mean, grief and sobriety, they're two huge topics, and everybody is so different. What I'm trying to do with the program that I'm trying to develop, and just learn more about grief and learn more about how to help people, is to just try and bring it out to the forefront, to say, you know what, I'm here. Let me listen to you. Let me hold space for you. Let me try and understand what you're going through. Let me help you.
Okay, a couple things. If you don't know what I'm going through, you don't know to ask that. So the person that is right now going, the holidays are suck. I'm gonna have to try and do this sober, and the memories of a loved one are there. Now this is going to be hard because the only way that I know how to deal with this is to drink. And now I've got to go through holidays, and I'm reminded everywhere about this grief that I'm missing. What are the steps at that point? The goal, I want to see people smiling on Christmas or, over the holidays. So for the person that's struggling with that, how do we start to let that go? I guess, is that the question?
Well, it's not necessarily let it go, but it's just how can we cope? How can we manage alcohol free? So it's just first of all, it's holding space. So understanding, giving them a space to share about their loved one that's gone, or the grief that they're going through. Get it out. Allow them to be heard. And then just setting them up.
Does someone have to want to get it out, or can we? How to explain the getting it out more?
Talking, bringing it up into conversation. So how you said at the beginning of this, where you said you always put your foot in your mouth because you don't really know what to say. If you know someone that has gone through a loss in this last year, and the holidays are coming up, I think you describe it best as your rose rule, where you ask twice.
Yeah, it was. I
love that.
I don't know how I heard it, but it was kind of, when we pass on the streets, is, hey Pam, how you doing? Good. You good? Boom, and that's gone. I didn't care about how you were doing, and B, you didn't really care about answering. But instead of saying, it was the rose rule is ask it twice. Hey Pam, how you doing? Good. No, really, Pam, how are you doing? I'm okay. Well, just that I'm okay. You pause and you at least I gave you the opportunity to say something, and then what do you mean okay? That's a beautiful day. How can you not be? How can you be just okay? Well, and then that opens the door.
And it's open, but it's a dual. By asking that second time, that shows you're listening.
Right.
Like you're not passing someone on the street saying, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Great, fine, bye, you, whatever," and carrying on. You're actually stopping and focused. I want to hear your answer. How are you doing? And by just opening that door allows everything to slowly come out. That's what I want to do, is just open that door for conversation. To just say, you know what,
I was
let's
going to
talk.
ask you, how do I know that you're grieving? But I think it doesn't matter. It can be at the checkout at a grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, hey, how you doing? Good. No, really, how are you doing? It's the holidays. How you holding up? Yeah, I'm about to lose it. What's going on? The stress, who knows if you have the time to do it. But I think, the Rose rule, ask it twice. It's like, wow, it causes both sides it causes me to listen by asking a second time, and it causes you to pause and answer from the heart instead of just a canned response.
And just by opening that door, like I said, that's my goal, is to just be able to open the door and say, I'm here to listen. How are you really doing? How can I help you get through this holiday season? What are your obstacles? What are you facing? Let's work on this together. Let's get through this. Let's get through this alcohol free. And I know everyone runs towards pleasure and runs away from pain. And the best way to run away from pain is to numb it. But let me help you not numb it. Let me help you face it, accomplish it, get through it, and be so proud of yourself.
That works for me, who's not suffering. What about the person that is grieving and trying to stay sober? What if no one's asking them twice?
That's why I'm here. They can reach out to me and I will ask them twice. I just want to get the word out. If you are alone and grieving and going through the holidays, try and find someone that you can reach out to. Is the best suggestion I have. See if there's someone.
You know what? I'm having a tough time and I need an ear.
Yeah. The street goes both ways. You've got to find someone to listen to, and you have to be able to speak.
My and I assume grief can also be trauma. I was assume, but then you hear big T, little t, but my traumas are definitely small t, and some of the ones that analyzing that really kind of messed me up, minor compared to losing someone, but that had that altered me or altered how my confidence or whatever. They're not front page news, but I didn't want to tell there's still some of them are embarrassing, and I don't want to tell people, just like I don't want to tell people when I go to the party this weekend, oh no, I quit drinking, and just have everyone turn and stare at me and go, what do you mean? Come on, have one, and have it explained. I feel the odd man out because I'm no longer drinking at the party. And I feel the odd man out because I have this grief and everyone else is having a great time. And I don't want to say, hey, everyone, stop smiling and having a great time. You guys need to hear what I got to, I want to pour my heart out. So I sit on it and I don't say it.
Yeah. See, I mean, you said a couple of things there to unpack. First and foremost is going to a party. I have no qualms in going to a party. And somebody asks me what I want to drink. Oh, I want a cranberry soda with lime. What, you don't drink? No, I don't drink. You got a problem with it? Doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't bother me. If they want to, make me stand out, that doesn't faze me. That's their issue.
You're stronger than me, Pam, because I think I'm the one in my mind that's making me stand out.
Yes.
They,
Oh,
they probably
definitely.
aren't even, they're probably not even, who
No,
cares? More
no,
for me.
no.
But
The only time they think about it is the first time you say no. And then after that, as long as somebody else has, as long as they have a drink, it doesn't matter. But you're giving their questions and their thoughts and their facial expressions power over you. And I hold the power. You hold the power.
those are areas I have to work on because I am trying, but I'm not the leader. I'm not the stand up, and I don't feel like I have the power. I
It
feel more
takes
comfortable
time.
hiding behind the wall and just hoping no one sees that I'm not drinking.
It takes time. But once you practice once and then a second time and then a third time, you get the hang of it. And the first couple of times may be white lies. I always say that's a valid time to tell a white lie. No, I can't drink tonight. I'm the designated driver. No, I can't drink tonight. My wife has an early meeting and I've got a driver. Whatever excuse you can
Mhm.
get into just saying that and be confident with it. Say, not tonight, just for tonight. And then the next time it's like, no, you know what? I'm taking a break for a weekend. Let it go, but say it with confidence and say it like you mean it. Stand up proud. I mean, head held high, shoulders back. I'm taking a break this weekend. I don't want to drink.
Yeah,
End of
some
story.
of the white lie thing, and I am not a fan of the lying because it's just it can come back to haunt you. But at the same time, I'm not a fan of me drinking.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
But
Me
pick your
standing over
battles.
what's important.
Yeah.
But someone just said, you know what, I'm on a medicine and I can't. It'll make me.
Yeah.
I just took whatever. I'm on a medicine. I can't drink on it. So
Yeah.
I'll catch you next weekend.
Yeah.
Whatever, but I got to survive tonight. That's what's most important is me not drinking tonight. So
That's
a
it.
lie, I don't care.
Yeah. I'm totally with you on that. I hate lies. I mean, I value honesty and truthfulness. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to stop drinking because I wasn't living true to my values. So these little white lies, if it gets you through the night and allows you to state that with confidence, yet not tonight, I can't. You know, like I said, I'm designated driver, or wife has a first, an appointment early in the morning, or I'm going to see my daughter early in the morning and I don't want to be hungover. Whatever excuse that works for you. If it works for you and you say it with confidence, that allows you to walk into the party with confidence, with that reason playing in your head. That's how you say no. And then you just keep working on that. Next time it's like I said, no, I'm just taking a break this weekend. I don't want to drink, but I
I you
am
know
craving an iced tea.
I walk in.
Yes.
Everyone knows that me and Diet Pepsis are not far apart, or we're
Yeah.
pretty close. But I have it in my hand. I don't go in because if I'm empty-handed, someone can hand me something.
Yep.
If I go in and I already have something in my hand, an iced tea, a drink, carbonated water with a lime. If I've got something in my hand, you want to drink? No, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I
and I
did
like
that.
just to change the subject. No, I'm good. But man, that band is
Oh,
unbelievable.
that's
Just
amazing.
just change the not focus. No, I'm. What are you looking at? Just change the topic.
I would put my soda in because I had beer cozies. I had beer cozies shoved in so many drawers, like the little beer cooler, the foamies.
Mhm.
I'd put my soda in those.
Just to make things light. You want to know? Christmas years ago, I was doing a new business thing, and my wife gave me this for Christmas. Okay, do you know what this is?
Is it a beer holder?
Well, okay, you have a drinking problem too. It's a pen holder. Okay, it's a pen holder, and she gave this to me, and I was at Christmas going, a wicker beer koozie. That's interesting, and I thought maybe for when you have nice guests over, that for formal things you want, your beer in a wicker. I thought this was like a decorative. Thank God I didn't say anything. It was later that morning I went, holy, this is a freaking pen holder because it's for my new office that I was moving into. I thought, okay, that could be a sign that you have a drinking problem, Jeff.
I love that.
So I will never part with that wicker beer koozie.
No,
That's
no.
a great reminder. So dealing with the grief, I get past the drink at the party. How do I, it takes two to tango, according to what you're saying, and talking about this is how I process it through the holidays. How do I go to that next level? Because we've got the holidays. I want to enjoy this Thanksgiving, but all I think about is my lost loved one or whatever the situation is.
My first suggestion always is when that event, that day, that holiday is coming up, lose your expectations. I mean, we all know it's going to be painful. We know it's going to be hard. We know it's going to be difficult. But let's try and lose those expectations of how difficult it's going to be. Let's see if we can just open up that window, let a bit of sunshine in, and say, okay, you know what? The day is coming, whether we want it or not. Let's see if we can just allow it and see how it unfolds. When we anticipate just dread and hate and fear of this upcoming holiday, it just compounds it and makes things worse. So just by lowering our expectations, I have found with my clients and with myself really helps. And then just literally finding a friend to say, okay, you know what? I have Thanksgiving this weekend with my family. Do you mind if I call you? Because I think it might be tough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard without my dad there, or it's going to be hard, because our dog isn't there anymore, or it's going to be hard because our family can't get together because of COVID restrictions in our state or in our province. Mm-hmm. And I would like someone to talk to that I could just literally pick up the phone and call a friend. Set yourself up for success so you have a way to reach out to others or to one person individually.
I'm going to ask, dumb questions, but do I want to try not to think about mom during the holidays? Do I want to turn over pictures so I don't see her in the holidays so I can be focused on the fun?
How does that, when you say that, how does that make you feel? Does it just kind of,
yeah, I mean, not real, almost, because I'm going to have to come back to it. I'm living a lie.
Yeah.
Talk
about it. Bring it up. If you can shed a tear. There's nothing wrong with shedding a tear. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? Like last year for our first Christmas without my dad, it was awful. We all missed him immensely. But I started to talk about him. I bought him a Christmas card. I set the Christmas card right by his urn. I talked to him and said, you know what, Dad? I really freaking miss you. Like I never thought I could miss someone. And this is tough.
Pam, I always thought, because I hadn't gone through really a tough one, my goal was to get over it. That I didn't even think, to get past it. That, here's a lousy example, but we're a dog family. When I lost the last one, it was a crushing, but I don't cry this Christmas over the loss of Maverick. I have moved on over that dog years ago. I mean, he was a great dog. I miss him. And now I've got my other one that I'm going to lose it when I lose him. But that one, that's something I can let go to a degree. I mean, I got pictures of them on the wall right now, but it's missing Maverick is not going to alter my Thanksgiving or my holidays this year.
No, but it could the first time, if all of a sudden you sit down to Thanksgiving dinner and Maverick isn't there waiting for somebody to drop a piece of turkey meat. It's like, I miss my dog. Yes, it's not.
You almost brought a tear when you just brought up that little thing. I did. I felt a little. Yeah. But yeah.
So again, so many different layers of grief. And with dogs, yes, you don't forget them. You haven't moved on. You've just adjusted to a life without them in it. Just like I've adjusted to a life without my dad physically present here with me. But he's still, he's still present in so many other ways in my life. So I've just adjusted. I haven't gotten over it. I'll never get over that. I'll never get over the passing of my dogs. My dog's pictures on, up behind me as well. And my other dog's sound asleep on the couch right now. But I've just adjusted to a life without them here.
There'll be some grieving going on when Billy, say hi. He's the old man. He's in extra innings, so I've got that coming up. This is probably a last Christmas for him. I wouldn't be surprised. So, I'm probably going to be calling you as that day comes.
And I would love to chat with you about that. So it just goes about just learning, and that's something key that society keeps saying is we get over it. You lose someone that's so important in your life and they say, well, here, take a week off work. And then they expect you back, the following Monday morning. Okay, so how are you? Everything's good, right? Mm-hmm. Well, not even close to good. This is a process. We need to adjust to our new life. We need to figure out who we are again. I mean, I needed to refigure out what a daughter looks like without a father. I needed to understand that. I needed to process that, and in taking David Kessler's training that got me the grief certificate, allowed me a better insight into not only how to help me, but how to help others, how to help them understand the different processes and how individual it is. But it's key to be able to reach out to someone to say, you know what, I'm struggling. And that's all you need for an opening. Mm-hmm. I'm struggling. Doesn't matter whether it's with alcohol, whether it's with grief, whether it's Uncle Bob just really pissed you off. Having that ability to just reach out, let's start this conversation. It's okay to struggle. There's nothing wrong with it. We're not weak. We're not weak because we're grieving. We're not weak because we got addicted to an addictive poison of alcohol. We're not weak because Uncle Bob pissed us off. We're not weak because of our emotions. We need to find our strength to be able to reach out to say, somebody help me, please.
Pam, your experience, because I thought, how can you ever, when you lose someone like what you've gone through, how can you ever be happy again? And I think what was explained to me was the happiness that you once had doesn't come back. And I always thought happiness was happiness. So how can you ever have that again? And someone said, no, you'll never have that. You've lost this, but what you can get is a different happiness. Yeah. Is that how that worked for you? Because I'm going to just ask you flat out, losing people like you've lost, how can you be happy again?
Because I've just adjusted. I have gone on to, you brought up a great example when you were talking about your mom and honoring your mom, and when you used to drink and light a candle. I have now turned my coaching and my wanting to study grief at almost like honoring them. Okay, you know what? You've passed. You were, suicide, heart attack from alcohol, murder, and then my dad. Let's get grief talked about. Let's bring this up into the forefront. Let's honor this. Let's learn to adjust to a life without them in it and then move forward.
Was that the key to you finding new happiness?
I think the new happiness I found in my sobriety, and then the key was just sort of being able to put it into purpose. There's not really a reason that I suffered all this grief, but I needed to find a reason. And that's the reason that I got out of it, was that so I can help people grieve. And if they're struggling with alcohol, help them stay sober at the same time.
I would have gone into, when you say that you're a grief specialist, that I'm going to walk into your office crying and I'm going to leave skipping and whistling Zippity-Doo-Dah-Day.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yeah, it would. It's that magic pill for everything, which is
No.
I always look for the complete solution to everything.
Oh, if I had a magic pill, that would be amazing. I would love it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be able to do that. No, you're not going to. Sure, you'll probably, you may walk in crying and you may leave crying, but you will be a little lighter. You will be, these emotions will come out. You will have been heard. And being heard is so key. Just, as you said, reaching out to a friend. How do you get through these holidays? You need to be heard.
One thing, and it kind of with the daughter that got married, when I took mom's ashes, I kind of, excuse me, opened the door with that. But it has allowed me, I think, going into the holidays, I appreciate the relationships that I can still work with a lot more. I value them, and maybe that's something I got from mom's passing and the dealing of mom's passing. But now I don't look at Thanksgiving as just watching football, which I still will do, don't get me wrong. But it is that having everyone together, and I actually want to have, I think before I just wanted people in the room while I drank and watched football. Now I want to engage with them and get that relationship. And one thing sobriety has given me, and I don't understand why, but I always ran from serious conversation. If it got deep, I ran or I wanted to drink. I didn't like serious conversation. And now I'm growing to be able to engage without cracking jokes and actually experiencing it.
Well, and you use the perfect word for that, because you can engage, because your brain is now thinking clearly because it's not clouded from alcohol. So you can process what you're hearing, you can digest it, and then you can turn around with a proper comment and say, okay, this is what's going on. But that's so key. Communication is so key, and what a great opportunity for your family to be able to sit around Thanksgiving and have you present, like fully present.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, you're still watching football, but you're also engaged in the conversation. Like, what a gift to your family. What an honor for your mom to be able to, look down upon you, if that's where you believe she is, and say, look, this is my boy. Look at what he's giving his family. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's a great, that is nice. I like that. Yeah. So who is, I want to hear what you do, and who is the candidate that should be contacting you?
So what I do is I do one-on-one coaching, and I also offer group coaching 6 nights a week. My group coaching deals with getting alcohol-free, staying alcohol-free, grief, life, anything and everything. And then I'm just in the process, as I mentioned earlier, I just finished my certification training with David Kessler, who's an incredible grief specialist. And I'm in the process of a year-long training with Gabor Mate.
That's the name, and I'll butcher it if I even try to repeat you, but that's the name I hear. You need to listen to him. That's a kind of the go-to.
He is just amazing, and so through my personal struggles with grief, my David Kessler training, and then now this Gabor Mate training, I want to be able to design a program to sort of be able to reach individuals to say, okay, you're trying to stay alcohol free, and now you've just had this tragedy or this grief come upon you. Let me help you. These are the steps that we are going to take, but that's still in the design process. I'm working on it, but I'm not too fast at it yet.
What are your thoughts on journaling as an option of talking with someone else? How important is
journaling is just a fabulous tool. Anything where you can put pen to paper, and journaling doesn't have to be in a nice little book that you get brand new. Journaling can be on a scrap of piece of paper, writing swear words down if that's what you're feeling at the moment. It doesn't have to be proper sentences. Anything that you can get out of you, going out and exercising, allowing the emotions that you're feeling, they're there for a purpose, and it's almost like they need out. So anything you can do to get them out, running, jumping jacks, journaling, knitting, anything is a huge help.
You should see my backyard. I just built an axe throwing target.
Oh, I love it.
We went to a place that had it. I'd never heard of it, and it was, talk about letting some stress out. So
that is amazing.
The look when my wife came back from her little weekend away this week, and the look of disgust when she saw me out there throwing axes in the backyard was priceless. But it is that exercise. It's that release. I'm a big believer. For me, I can feel energy, and when I get it out, I can feel how much better, and I can get that from talking. I don't have to break a sweat. I can get it from, and I do journal now. I've got, I literally have piles and piles of Post-it notes, and just where I write stuff down and falling in my lap that I then can, it just gives me an idea to go back, and then I can reflect on it. One thing that also worked for me, and I actually need to kind of do this again, but I hate listening to it, but there's audio diaries on your phone, and just to be able to, and it'll transpose it into written word. Of course, it changes, someone's name to profanity, or like, what the hell did I? But 90% of the words come out correct. But just to voice that has helped me. And you can always delete it if you don't want anyone to.
Or burn your notes.
Yeah.
If you want to write something out and you're worried that someone else is going to see it, write it out and then burn it or shred it. Whatever you can do, but just getting it out. Anything you can do to allow your emotions out is amazing. And that's one step closer to helping you adjust.
And someone like me, Pam, that's probably a great one. I just was thinking about, writing a letter to my mom, but that's going to be easier than me. Some of the things I would write down, knowing no one would see them, is probably things I wouldn't say even to someone.
Yeah.
I think I could be even truer on pen, knowing that no one, even though I get a ton out of talking with you about it, I can put down thoughts or stories or.
And it's also a great way to get rid of, you were talking about the shame that you felt for the last couple of years before he passed, because you weren't the best son because you were drinking. Write it out. Get it out. Allow
I think
it.
I can see writing an apology,
But also, keep in mind, it's the alcohol. It wasn't you. You, as the kind, loving son, would never do anything to hurt your mom. It was because of the alcohol.
The one that I still, and my dad's still alive, but in college, I came across the United States to play football for the university here. And mom and dad would fly out for every game.
Wow.
They flew out. I know it was a financial toll, but there's 11 games in the season. And the last year, my dad came to 11, my mom came to 10. So, and after the games, usually on a Saturday or the Sunday, we would have dinner, and I would go and eat as quick as I could. I would pay my dues. Now they flew into town. Now that I'm a father, I know what pride is in a child.
Yeah.
So they came into town to spend time with their son, and all I could do is, I'm going to pay my dues, eat dinner with them, and then get out of here so I can go to the bar and drink.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to this day.
It hurts.
Because alcohol I wasn't even drinking at the moment, but alcohol still was controlling my life.
Yeah.
And I chose that over them. And I can't get that back.
Yeah. No, you can't get that back, but you can realize that it was the alcohol. It wasn't you. That's the addiction. That's the addiction in the alcohol. You would never do that. Jeff would never choose anything over spending time with his mom and dad. But then you throw alcohol into the mix. There you go. You know, I've got a past like that too. But I've written it out and then said, you know what? I can't go there anymore. It was the alcohol.
I have a friend that whose mother died on New Year or Mother's Day, and he had complained about the food she served. She drove to the store to get him what he wanted because he was just a little shit, and she was killed by a drunk driver. Well, on that trip, so he, tough guy, but Mother's Day, stay away from him because he has the guilt, and I don't see him today, but he's one that, you know, there's a ton of pent up. And I don't know if he's ever talked about it to anyone. That was as far as I got with it. And I was younger, but just, I could see what it did to him and I didn't have the tool to ask him twice.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't ask him, what are you going through? You know, what are you,
yeah. How can I help you?
How can I help you today?
Wow, that's tragic.
And it was, and that's again, you know, it's like now I've got a little bit of the what if I had done, what could I have said? You know, I don't know. It's there's a lot here, but yeah. I like that Rose rule. Just it can help someone else, which will help me, but it also teaches me how to listen.
Yes. Listening is key. Listening is key with any relationship.
Yeah.
You know, being able to hear what the other person is saying, you know.
Well, I changed the topic because when you dump something heavy on me, I said, "Hey Pam, how you doing, Jeff? I'm really suffering because my mom." Well, now I don't want to deal with that. I'm having a good time at this thing, so I'm going to change. Now I'm uncomfortable because you just brought up the loss of a friend or whatever. I don't know how to deal with that, and I don't, you know, so I'm going to change the topic.
But turn it around and put your shoes in there. Put your mindset into their mind just for a second and say, I wonder how they feel. I wonder if I just listened for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
How much better that would make them feel. Sure, I might still be uncomfortable, but will that help them just for a couple of minutes to say, you know what, I've been heard? That Jeff guy, he's pretty cool. He listened to me in the midst of this big party. Just let me vent just for a minute. Think of how good that's going to make that person feel.
Well, I know that when I have vented, it sure makes the rest of the day a lot easier.
Yes.
Because you get that out. And I think that's probably a key to what this thing is. How do people get a hold of you, Pam, to learn more about you, what you do, what programs you offer, questions? And I'll put all of this up on the Facebook pages and our website. But is there a simple thing to look at right now if someone wants to just Google you real quick or Facebook?
Yeah, my website is ForwardFreedom.one. ForwardFreedom.one. Yeah.
ForwardFreedom.one. I love it.
Yeah. Because we're moving forward to freedom.
Well, I'll put those links on the pages, and I guess all the information on what's offered and how to contact you, that kind of thing.
That would be great. I would love that. Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting. We all, big or small, we all deal with things. Yes. And the holidays are tough. And sobriety's given me, and it's every day I get more and more tools to enjoy life more.
It's a gift.
And some of them sound hard, facing things because, sobriety, I want to forget about the things. But that doesn't make them go away. It's when I face them, deal with them, put them out on the table, and process them that I'm really finding the joy.
Oh, 1,000%. You know,
all right.
just
Well,
being able to go through it, it's amazing.
Yeah, we'll put your stuff on there. I thank you so much, and I know hate to tell you this, but you'll be back.
Oh yay!
We'll get through Thanksgiving, and then hopefully you'll figure that the next time you'll say, "Hey, I found how to do the zippity doodah leaving the office skipping."
Yeah,
you can fix all those problems. But
I'll
Pam,
search for that magic pill.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, hang on. I do have some lovely parting gifts for you for being on. So Jay will tell you all about what we have. But everyone, have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you. We'll be back Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Pam. Have a great one. I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.